Hey there! Welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk about artillery. I just discovered artillery a few weeks ago, and today I finally watched a video about instructions on how to use it. And now I think I know enough to start using it on my test server, because I wanna test artillery, or I want to load test my application. I want to know how many users can possibly be on my server at the same time. So I want to kind of prepare my server for high load, and maybe I can see where the bottlenecks are after testing it with artillery. First I tried to load test it myself using some Python and some GET requests, but that didn't go very well because many reasons. Yeah, it's just not made for it. And artillery is a library written in Node that's made for it, and it's really cool because you can also use custom JavaScript functions in it. For example, faker to generate fake data. So you can actually simulate a real-life environment with as many users that hit your server as you want. In the video, the maker of artillery said that he can simulate about 1,600 requests per second on a pretty slow CPU from his local machine. And yeah, that's a lot. I think if I can handle so many requests per second, I'm good. I'm totally fine. I will probably not need that many. I think that about 1,000 would be already a huge achievement. And yeah, I can definitely work around 1,000. Like if I can really have 1,000 users concurrently on my app in the long term, and the server can handle that, yeah, then I'm totally fine. But I just need to know, I just want to build my system around this. I want to make my system automatically, maybe even add resources automatically whenever the load goes up, until a certain point, of course. But yeah, maybe I can like add memory or something to my virtual machine whenever the load goes up, and that would be very, very useful if I ever have applications that get released and or whatever, or that some certain like special events happen and the load goes up big time. You know, you just want to be prepared for that. And I also want to know until like what amount, how big can the database become before I need to split it up onto multiple servers and stuff. Yeah, and I think if I go delve into this on early stage, I can definitely improve performance in ways that it's like necessary way later to split it up, for example, the database, and also yeah, just make the all-in-all experience better for users whenever there's a high load. So yeah, let's see. First of all, I just opened the terminal, and I'm gonna install artillery globally, locally. And let's see the quick start guide. Maybe it's more useful because then I can copy commands. So it should be installed now. Let's check. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It works. So this is a production server that I am currently running. It's server.mastercrimes.nl, and to do a quick first test to know if it's working, I just want to do this GET request to the server. like maybe 50 times a second and see what happens. It's a 1 gigabyte Linode server, so I'm really curious what will happen. This is the most simple server, or most simple query. It just asks this in the app. It actually asks this 1 time every minute. So yeah, I'm curious what will happen. Let's see the command again. And of course later, since we have it installed globally now, later we can easily put this in the in yarn in the package JSON as a yarn test or yarn load or yarn artillery or something and we can even make our own test script later. But let's first do this one. Artillery quick count. Let's say 10 users. And every user sends a request over the coming minute 20 times. So that's about, or let's say 60 times. So that's 1 request per second to this URL. So normally this wouldn't happen, but yeah, let's see what happens. It's running and it will probably take 1 minute. Oh, it's quicker. I think it did it in 1 second actually. Quick. So this is the result. Scenarios launched 10, 10 completed. So it did a total of 600 requests, and it did 52 requests per second. So it ran in under 10 seconds. And this is the latency. So as you can see, 99% of all the requests returned something within 700 milliseconds. That's okay, I think. I'm not sure if it's like really good, but yeah, it seems to me that that's pretty good. Since it's 50 requests per second, it looks to me that if I make a rough estimate right now based on this, and of course this is like a really easy request. This is something that the server almost has to do nothing for. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so this is how it works. The scenario of quick is just repeatedly requesting it every time after it gets a result. So it's as quick as it gets. It's sequential. That's how it works. So that means that, as you can see, like all the users did 60 requests within 10 seconds, and that's great, I think. So let's see what happens if I do the same thing with 30 users. It's really cool that I can actually do this from my local machine, I think. And now I'm simulating 30 users, and it's already done. So it's all done within half a second, every request, and it sent 150 requests per second this time. And yeah, it could do it. So let's see, can I get up to 1,000? This is a really simple query. It just returns a number without a database. So Let's try 100 users. Because the rough estimate that I want to know now is, can I achieve 1,000 requests per second? And now it says this. Okay, now it did only 59 requests per second because the median is actually a second. And I don't really understand why. Oh, I'm in the wrong one, sorry. Okay, request per second 208. All right. Seems to all work fine, but there are like 5% of requests take more than 1.5 seconds. That's quite a lot already. So at 208 requests per second, it starts making it a little bit harder already. So what if we simulate 1,000 users? What would happen? It might even crash, you know? So just to make sure that it's not crashing, I will open the database. Next to it and check the PM2 stats. Oh. And I'm testing this on a beta production environment. So there are like maybe 5 or 10 beta testers playing or using the API right now in real life. Maybe only a few. Maybe nobody at the moment, I don't know. And it doesn't really matter if it crashes. I can put it back up right after. So it's not a production environment, but it's like a production simulation. So let's see. Okay, so this is the actual uptime, 20 hours. So if it would go down, then we will notice, of course. So I'm kind of afraid that it will go wrong. So let's see what happens if I get 200 users that start requesting it all the time. And I am quite impressed. Okay, so it gives an error. And let's see what the status is. Okay, it actually didn't respond for a while. So it can't handle it. 200 it can't handle. It seems to be down. It seems to be under high load at least. It's still up. But yeah. Aircon reset 3. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna look it up. Alright, so it says here that econ reset means that the other side of the TCP conversation abruptly closed its end of the connection. And that's really, really cool because I think that Cloudflare did some work here, and I'm gonna check out Cloudflare. By the way, I have to say that all these requests were made from my IP. and I'm trying to reach Cloudflare from the same IP address. And it could very well be that Cloudflare now thinks I'm like a DDoSer because I'm sending so many requests. And shit, because yeah, I think that's a problem because I can't reach Cloudflare right now. Let's see if Google still works. This is, by the way, not really cool. Yeah, I hope my housemates don't have a problem with it right now. It seems to be a little bit slow, but it still works. I hope I didn't just blacklist our IP address or something. I might still be on the wrong Wi-Fi network, by the way. Yeah, that could be it too. Let's check. So this is this works. I think this is faster. Let's check if Cloudflare works. Now it works. Maybe it was just the Wi-Fi. Yeah, shit up. I just want to log in, please. Let me get back. So I'm not sure where exactly I can see it. Maybe under analytics. Ah, yeah, there it is. So it says it got 4,500 requests Tuesday. Yeah, there are a lot of beta testers that are even using bots right now to make a lot of requests. And I don't know about this. It probably doesn't have the latest requests that I just did, because it says like, yeah, it says like 1,600 requests in 1 hour. That's a lot actually. That's almost 1 per second. That's cool. Okay, so I just ran the request against the real server without Cloudflare, because Cloudflare was kind of interfering with so many requests coming from one IP address. So if I don't have Cloudflare, I can actually do it. And as you can see in this report, and this is what it launched, and requests completed. Concurrent users. Yeah, so this is kind of the amount. Okay, request completed. Concurrent users. And here it doesn't say concurrent users, but yeah, it returns multiple of them. So here it says concurrent users 3. Also, it's our intermediate logs. So it says how many it can send at one time. So I asked it to simulate 1,000 users, or 500 users, but somehow it did 501 requests per second, and it seems that the average was completed in 300 milliseconds, and 99 or 95% was within 1.5 seconds. And yeah, it did 500 requests per second to my 1 gigabyte server. I'm really impressed. This is of course without a database. So of course when I send requests to a GraphQL server with a database, it's going to be much slower. It has much more work to do. So I think that there's, yeah, I should test it, of course, on like the average query or something. And yeah, then I can see how many concurrent users I can actually handle. And I will probably write a scenario that has like an average user, what a user does. It's also possible to make a traffic recorder on your for artillery. So it records all the traffic that you do when you test it, for example, the real app, and then you can put that into a scenario, which means that it will load that uh, that that scenario for every user, as many users as you want. And this is great because then I can really test if it will be able to handle, for example, 1,000 users at the same time, and for that request like one screen or do something every few seconds. Yeah, this is really important, and I hope I can handle like a few hundred users. That would be awesome. And I will just want to know also like where's the bottleneck. So I will do that in other videos. See you later.